Hospice of the Chesapeake offers so much more than traditional hospice care. It's a continuum.
Terri Hussman first learned about Hospice of the Chesapeake in 2000 after the sudden loss of her first husband.
So all of a sudden, my children and I are members of clubs we didn't ask to be a part of. I was a young widower with a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old, and my kids are trying to figure out how to maneuver life now without their dad.
Grief care services are available to anyone who has had a loved one pass, whether in the care of hospice or not.
As a parent, you feel like you have to carry your kids' grief and maneuver it for them and help them manage it. And all of that is true, and yet it's their own grief, and you can't do it for them. All you can do is give them some tools to do it, and that's what taking that class did for my kids.
Grief care at Hospice of the Chesapeake served close to 500 adults and children last year.
Lots of people, when they have a significant loss, they express that, the world just kept going, and I wanted to scream, don't you know what just happened? And the Life Center is a place where they can say, this just happened to me. And they can sit next to somebody who said, me too, and share it and feel supported.
Despite Terri's positive experience with Hospice of the Chesapeake, she was slow to reach out when years later, her brother Ed was diagnosed with late-stage melanoma.
And he was young, he was 44. And so at that age, having the conversation about this may be it can be really hard. And so we didn't really have the conversation. We did not reach out to hospice until just a couple of days before he passed. And the support given there for my family and I, and for his kids, and for all of it's a funny word, but it was a beautiful thing, right? They were able to alleviate some of the pressures from us so that we could just have beautiful moments together with Ed and together with each other.
Traditional hospice care provides comfort to patients when cure is no longer an option. For months prior to their final days, last year, Hospice of the Chesapeake cared for 3,881 patients and their families who chose to focus on quality of life during a difficult time.
The hospice is for the entire family. You have a team behind you at a time when you really aren't strong enough to carry the ball by yourself.
Terri experienced our innovative support care when her mother was diagnosed with lung cancer in 2015.
It gave me the language for my mom, who was just like, well, this is what the doctor says, to say, hey, Mom, what are your goals? What do you want it to look like? And I remember that first conversation and her face just being really grateful for the question. Like, oh, I hadn't even thought about that.
Innovative support care is available to anyone experiencing advanced illness at any stage, often while continuing curative treatments. Last year, we provided supportive care for 2,095 patients, offering system management, pain relief, and goals of care conversations, as well as a bridge to hospice care when the time is right.
I think for any of us, when we hear that this is it, that it's, that it can be daunting, but I think she just felt like, well, I've got people around me that are going to help me through this the way they have for the last couple of years. And we're going to do this her way, right? Having Mom under supportive care for 2.5 years, she was able to really live happily. And anytime an issue would come up with her health, we could reach out to Dr. Bush and we would walk through what the symptoms were, and he would help us figure out how to make her most comfortable as it progressed. And you just knew that you weren't in it by yourself.
Volunteers are a critical part of the holistic approach to the care continuum at Hospice of the Chesapeake, often bringing a caring and truly unique perspective to a patient and family. Terri began volunteering after being at her friend's bedside when she passed.
I felt like, wow, that was a beautiful thing being there. And I didn't carry it in a heavy way. I kind of carried it in a wow, that was kind of beautiful, because I knew we were saying all the things about her that we admired. And I came home and I told John, I said, I think I'm supposed to be working with hospice. And so they offered me kind of an avenue to use my experiences of loss and supported loss, right? To say to other people, you don't have to do it by yourself. There's a great organization out there that's got all kinds of services to help you during a really hard time.
Terri and John generously give their time and treasure to Hospice of the Chesapeake, they, along with anyone else who donates, become an integral element in our vision for the future of healthcare, where patients and families navigate the care continuum smoothly and with the support they so richly deserve.
And the crazy thing is that there can be some real beauty in the passing of a loved one. And if you bring in supports to help you deal with all of the messiness around it, right, then you can just be there for the beautiful moments.